Joffey Joe, and this is the show, Call It How I See It. And on today's episode, I got a couple of teams I want to talk to you all this time. First and foremost, we got Glenn Pratt in the house, and we are here to talk about the automated strike zone in the MLB, as this could be the future of sports, honestly. So, you don't want to miss out on what me and Glenn have to say about that. Secondly, I have Joe Valo and Carlitos World in the house, as we talk about some NBA, as well as what happened with the Tank Davis fight. You don't want to miss out on that take. And thirdly, I got Giancarlo in the house, as we are here to talk about UFC 313, as it's coming up this weekend, and you don't want to miss out on what we have to say about that. So, you don't want to miss out on this action-packed episode. And we're back. And look who we have in the house, the one and only Glenn Pratt. How you doing, my guy?
What's good, Joffey? You know what I hear from Joffey? It's time to call it how I see it. Oh, it's time to get it on. Let's get it, Joffey.
Let's get it, G. So, as football season's over, G, we're moving into baseball season. And now, in spring training, they have a little special stipulation going on that has, some people keeping their eye on things, especially as we're pertaining to the umpires and officiating in baseball. So, they have an automatic ball and strike system here. So they're testing it out. They've been doing this in the minors since the 2022 season, I believe, and to much success. Been able to cut the payroll in minor league umpiring and other stuff. And now the MLB is dipping their toe into this idea as they're doing it this spring training. And I just want to hear, Jay, because I know me and you, we've had our rumblings about some officiating in other sports. How do you feel about the umpires and their whole union with this coming in to light in the baseball world?
Bottom line, what technology has done throughout the world has made things different. I mean, unfortunately, people lose employment because of technology. I mean, Easy Pass, the automatic teller at the supermarket. I mean, what else did I put down there real quick? I mean, you got self-checkout. You got robo-umpires. I mean, listen, technology is there. Let's stop letting Joe, Jim, and Bob give what kind of strike zone they want. This is so long overdue. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, Joffey, come on, man.
No, you're absolutely right, G. Go ahead.
I can't believe it's taking baseball this long. I mean, seriously, it should have been around. I mean, let's think about it here. We have Hawkeye in tennis. Tennis has already done it. Tennis has already made the move. And in major tournaments, they don't even use umpires.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, God, it's taking so long. And I can't wait for baseball. They need to do it now. There's no reason to wait for next year. Put that in. Let's go. Let's keep it moving, baseball. You're on the right track. You're on the right field for making things better. Just implement it now. There's no reason to wait.
No, I'm with you, G. I mean, we've seen a lot of errors calls, whether in big situations or we have Joe West missing the perfect game, or even Angel Hernandez last year, the MLB in general just saying, you know what, fuck it, dude, get out of here. We don't want to see you anymore. We don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. So this errors thing didn't make them as a union look good, and now with this coming out, I mean, dude, we see it on the replay, G. How many times we see John Smoltz or the announcers and analysts, looking in and zoning in, oh, this should have been a ball, this should have been a strike, and it actually, dude, it could change the complexion of a game. If you keep somebody alive in a bat and something happens in a big situation, it changes the game. So to have a more accurate and decisive decision with each pitch and each thing that goes by, it's really important to implement. And I mean, baseball, tradition and everything. Some people are natural traditionists and they're like, oh, well, you're changing baseball too much. It's not the game that I grew up with and all this other crap. But honestly, dude, we want pinpoint accuracy. And also, too, this gets this idea of rigging the games or fixing things out. I mean, when you have accuracy to this type of level, this is what you want as a product. And, this can definitely help their game out, which needs the help. You know what I mean? Given everything that they have already going on. So,
with this specific issue, the human element doesn't need to exist. The umpire still needs to be behind the plate. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make the plays at the calls for the plays at the plate. Balls and strikes, don't need you anymore, Jim. We don't need Bob giving the high strike and Jim giving the low strike. If the ball hits the box, it's a strike.
Right.
Bottom line, you get consistency. If anything else, you get consistency. It won't be in the... Oh, man, come on. What's baseball waiting for? Let's go.
No, for sure. And then, like I said, this is only a good thing that they can implement. So
absolutely.
So, how do you feel about how they? I mean, we're already diving into how they have things set up, but you think the way they have things set up right now, G, is there any chance that they can fix things? With
get rid of the umpire altogether, Joffey. You don't need him calling balls and strikes. The challenge system, I'm with you. That's a start. And
Yes.
But you're using the challenge system. You trust it enough to make overcalled balls and strikes.
Right.
Use it the whole damn game. That's what tennis has done. Tennis is taking that out. There is no challenge. The things use it all the time. Come on, baseball. They don't need them back there calling balls and strikes. Come on, move forward, keep it moving. They can still stand back there.
Right.
They can. To me, in all sports, need a ref. I don't care if he has to dress up in the uniform. He's just sitting there watching the game. Everything that we see, Joffey, as a fan, should be reviewed. Everything, whether you overturn it or not, that's a whole other issue.
Yes.
You don't have to overturn it,
right.
but if I can see it as a fan, it should be reviewed at least. Don't tell me nothing's reviewable. If you can run it back and see it, you don't have to overturn it, but review it. And if you can see and make the right call, make the call.
No,
it's a beneficial factor. It's a beneficial thing technology has given baseball if they don't run with it, man. But see that, get it, Joffey? When it comes to balls and strikes, charges and blocking, fouls, holding, to me, all professional sports have what I consider, and I sort of consider myself somewhat of a conspiracy theorist. There's always a way for them to control the game. To me, balls and strikes, that's the way they control the game. Blocking and charging fouls, that's the way they control the game. Well, that's my conspiracy thoughts about how these leagues can look at it. I mean, but if you have a 1-1 count that goes 2-1, 1-2, that changes everything, man.
Exactly.
Come on,
no, you're
just
absolutely right.
Get the guy from behind the plate. Let's go. All automatic balls and strike. Let's go.
I know. And half these times, G, like, we know how many times we see these guys put on a show or just yelling
don't
shit.
Need
just
it,
I don't need to hear your voice. I don't need to hear your
cool out. I'm not there to see you, bro. I'm not there to see you.
That's why you have a mask on. That's why you have a mask on, man. We're not here to. Your presence isn't really needed in the game. Honestly.
Not really. Not really.
But I mean, even like the NFL this year, they're even talking about getting rid of the chain gang and stuff. So like in other sports too, like this is starting something like you said in tennis and other sports around the world. Like this is something that they're using technology to its advantage, and like it's gonna be used, man. And it's only a matter of time. But like overall, G, no, go ahead.
When they talk about the chain gang in football, to me, that's such an irrelevant thing because the chain gang has nothing to do but spot the ball where the guy's on the field spotted. That's irrelevant. But see, football is a little bit different when it comes to the whole, whether he was down or not. There's so many factors. Forward progress. What part of his body was down. That's tough. That's tough to determine. So that's not as easy. There's a lot of different factors when it comes to football and the replay and whether a guy was down or not. There's so many different things that fall into that. They complicate. Balls and strikes? Nah, man. Clear as day.
I know.
Clear as day. They've perfected it to the point in which they're going to use it to overturn calls. Use it the whole game. Stop it. Now stop playing around.
For sure, absolutely. And this like definitely is like you said, it's just a progressive thing that they need to implement in the game.
But like,
keep it moving.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
let's go baseball.
For real, stop living in a dinosaur age.
Exactly.
But like overall, G, like with this happening, and this most likely coming into light in the future, how do you think this is going to impact other sports too?
Oh, tennis is already tennis. I mean, granted, we're only talking in and out, and tennis is really not. They're not reviewing much more, but whether a ball is in or out. To perfection.
Yeah.
To perfection, tennis has got it down.
Right.
So to me, what sports, I mean, replay is in every sport for the most part. They're using it all over.
Right.
So, I mean, it's already ingrained in our sports. It's just them perfecting it. The balls and strikes thing has taken it to another level. And I love it, though, because they're using it to overturn calls so they know it's accurate. You're saying it's accurate enough to say an umpire was wrong. Use it the whole damn game. Stop it. Stop it. Just challenge crap, man. Come on.
No, I'm absolutely with you.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, man. Technology is out there. Let's just use it to our advantage.
No, for sure, and then we'll get the results. And honestly, too, it's like as fans, we're not getting cheated for like investing our time and energy into a product. You know what I mean? Like when we see the accuracy, and we don't have to worry about this other element of human element or just like pride element in certain situations. We don't have to worry about batters taking like 5 minutes arguing with the ump, or even the ump, the head coach coming out of the bench arguing or starting, or even having like there's so much things that like. Sometimes like umpires just create such a domino effect, and then like getting rid of them in general just kind of even keeps the game going and keeps everything pushing.
There's nobody more argumentative than a baseball umpire. I've watched them. Now they're supposed to be the law. They're supposed to be the. To me, they're looking at people, waiting for them to do things. I mean, come on, man, umpire the game. You're not a star, bro. You're the official.
Exactly.
Give you that respect, but let the players do what they do. Stop trying to be and implement yourself into the game, Mr. Umpire. No. I've seen it so many times. You mentioned Joe West.
Yes.
And the other guys who, to me, are just trying to be stars. They're trying to make a name for themselves. I'm over it, bro. I'm over the human factor. Appreciate you, humans. You've done a lot, but it's time to move on.
Yes, I agree, Jay. I mean, ever since 1864, bro. Ever since 1864.
Come on, man.
I mean, it's baseball needs to get into this new line of technology and use it to its full capacity, and then I think it really will help take their game to a new level, which they absolutely need. But Jay, I appreciate you coming on and coming on into this topic with me. So I really appreciate you coming on and dropping your knowledge.
I hear from Joffey, man. I get excited. I'm ready to call it out. I see.
Yeah.
You know how we do. Anytime, Joffey, anytime.
Absolutely. But G, I appreciate you coming on, and we coming at these refs. We're coming at their neck.
For real.
All right, G. Thank you, man. And look who we have in the house. We have my boy, Joe Valo. How you doing, my man?
Yo, yo.
And the one and only Carlitos Way World. How you doing?
Yo, what's good? I should have been introduced first, but it's all good.
Oh, is that how it is? Well, listen, I'm the host here, so I get to dictate what's going on. And I'm the one that pushes the buttons around here, Carlitos.
Yeah.
So know your role, all right?
Okay. You got the okay. You got the buttons.
Yeah, that's right. I look like a sleazy club promoter right now. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Because that's not why we're here to talk. We're here to talk some NBA and boxing. So, Mr. Valo, I have you here because I want to know and dissect into your brain about a couple things that you have going on that you may think benefit the Sixers. Now, last week I had an epic rant about the Sixers, and the Sixers definitely deserve a fork put inside of them because they're done. They're done. They're cooked. They're washed. Everything you can imagine. They're done. All right, and it's because of Daryl Morey. But now I want to see what you think the Sixers should do moving forward. And in regarding to a draft and tanking and a lottery and a lot of different contributions that could change a lot of things of the dynamics of the NBA draft, I want to know, Joe, who do you think is really worth tanking for the Sixers?
I think there's three guys. I like Ron Harper's son. I think he's the third best of them. I like Cooper Flagg. I think he might fit in the best with the Sixers roster. And people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I think in a few years, Ace Bailey will be the best prospect out of this draft class. And I would love for us to team up Maxey with Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey is the same. I feel like the worst thing he could be is like a Jason Tatum. He's like one of these guys, like Paul George, Jason Tatum, Tracy McGrady. I feel like he will fall into that category. I feel like he'll be like a better Paul George.
Okay.
Kind of like Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
And, I mean, if we can get him, I feel like, I don't know if it helps us too much with this roster because we still have Paul George. But if we get Cooper Flagg, I feel like that might be the best fit to win a championship next year. But in long-term success, I would take Ace Bailey to team up with Maxey.
Okay. So just, throwing this out there, since Ace Bailey and both Roman Harper played for Rutgers basketball, which isn't a nationally ranked team, you think that these guys, even though they're highly touted prospects, are, worthy of being in the top three and contributing to NBA teams?
I think Ace Bailey, he might not be ready right away, but when you watch it in college, he's doing no dribble moves, pulling up in people's faces, pump fake, one dribble, pull up. He gets to a spot fast, and he knows how to get his buckets. And that's exactly what you need at the next level, because some guys in college, they dribble their way into points. You can't really necessarily do that at the next level all the time. And Ace Bailey, he has the athleticism and the height, but he doesn't rely on it. I feel like Cooper Flagg, he relies on his athleticism. Like, he can shoot and he is skilled, but when I first watched him, I kind of thought of him as like a Ben Simmons that just uses his athleticism a lot. I'm not saying, I know he's a lot better skilled, he can make any jump shot, but I'm saying athleticism-wise, I feel like he relies on it really heavily, and at the next level, I don't feel like he's a top-tier athlete. He's a good athlete at the next level, but he's not a freak athlete like Giannis or Zion or guys like that.
No, I understand where you're coming from. There is like a big, kind of like a Larry Bird aura, but more athletic, I think, just because of his talent and everything involved, his skill set in terms of shooting, passing. I mean, Duke basketball, they're a legitimate title contender, and they're going to be a big, heavy favorite coming into this NCAA tournament. But, still a freshman. And also, too, coming from the state of Maine, there's not really much competitive ball that comes out of there. But we also remember Cooper Flagg lighting, the USA basketball team up, which is pretty crazy to do at the age of 17. So that's a lot to take in. And I think after that whole, practice run against the USA basketball team, I think everybody was already anointed him, minus all the hype that was building up behind him as the number one pick. But, Ace Bailey has definitely proven himself, minus everything else. It's just crazy to see, like, a two-man team, bowling in the Big Ten and not being able to maybe even make the NCAA tournament. But, I've seen Roman Harper hit game-winning shots, but, overall at the end of the day, with Maxey being where it is, he's the cornerstone of the team, and them taking a guard like Roman Harper wouldn't really service them in any type of way. But,
I feel like he's more of a catch-and-shoot guy. Every time I watch him, he's a good shooter.
He is a good shooter. Like I said, he makes buckets, and he does it, but he does also play point guard for them. So, he does handle the ball for them, and he does, move the ball up the court for the Scarlet Knights, and I don't know why we're really talking about the Scarlet Knights, but just minus these two prospects. But
what about that Jared McCain?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think at guard right now we're good, even though there could be a defensive liability behind those two. But I think things could be okay with, the back end, having the right forwards and everything, and, solidifying their defensive liabilities from the back end of things. But, that's depending on who constructs his team here, because I don't think Daryl Morey should be here anymore constructing this team. Yeah, given this, he's drafted well, he's got Max, he's got McCain, but other than that, I need to see more, and I need to understand that you know how to construct a team, which I don't think you do. So I'm just tired of seeing this notion, Joe, where they just take the best pick and not know what to do with it later on. Like minus Jalil Okafor, minus Ben Simmons, and all these other guys. Because I'm tired of it. Because like we look at that Markelle Fultz. We can look at the fucking Boston Celtics. We've swung and missed, and then everything that we haven't put on our team, they've made it work. So I don't want to, there's a lot of bullshit
We
with
could have
that.
drafted their team, and we didn't. Like, we could have had their team.
That's just where we're at with that. So, we'll see what happens. We still got more time, and like I said too, tanking and everything. There's the lottery, and we've been winners of the lottery, and we haven't been able to capitalize on the lottery. So, everything involved here, you would think that the best option for the Sixers right now is to tank, just to protect their top 6 protected pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think that's the way to go. But we'll see how things go in terms of the lottery, and maybe who knows? Maybe we'll get a bone thrown our way, and we end up with a higher pick than the 6th pick, and we end up with one of these good prospects.
I think we're the 5th worst right now. It gives us a good chance to get a top 3 pick.
Yeah, so as long as you're in it, we've seen a lot of funny stuff happen in the lottery. Even like when the year that the Spurs got Wembanyama and everything, that was kind of a little fishy too. But like I said, funnier things have happened, and we'll see what happens on draft night. But I definitely think.
If we get the first pick, don't you think we kind of got to get rid of Embiid?
Absolutely, we have to. He's done, bro. He's got to go. Maybe this retirement thing might be a real thing, or might really legitimately happen. I don't know. We don't know where his health is. There's just too much question marks when it comes to Joel Embiid. There is, and I'm really tired of it. He can go. Paul George can go. They can restructure the team and get younger and just keep Maxey as the cornerstone, because that's what he needs to be. He needs to be the cornerstone, get a lifetime contract, and be very happy with the Sixers.
But why would you want to be here if you're Maxey? If they leave?
That's a good question too. What is the incentive here? Do you love playing in Philly? Is it what is it overall? What is your incentive? Do you want to really win a championship here, or because most of the guys that you came up here and balled with might not be here anymore? So we have to take all that into consideration. And on top of that too, I was reading some things that maybe Daryl Morey didn't even give Maxey all the money that he really deserved in that contract. There's still missing factors to Maxey not really getting the maximized deal that he should have got with his last extension. So that's a lot of things too. But that's why they have agents and all that other shit. So I don't know. But Joe, on another note, if the NBA season was to end right now, who do you think's gonna win the title?
By default, Celtics right now.
Even with what the Cleveland Cavaliers have been doing this year.
That's my second option. I think the East will win it this year.
I do too. It's going to be interesting to see if I would think just because they just won and their starting 5 is $1 billion starting 5 lineup, and I just don't know if the Cavaliers have enough to beat the Celtics in a 7-game series. Yes, they definitely will beat them a couple of times in a series, but I don't know if they can do it in the long run. But these two are definitely 1A and 1B. And it's just crazy to think. All the Cavaliers really did was just put Kenny Atkinson as their head coach. They basically had the same team.
They got DeAndre Hunter.
They got DeAndre Hunter. He comes off the bench. That definitely has helped their bench play. Moving Karis LeVert and putting him in there and stuff. It definitely has helped their bench and produce more points. I believe the other day when most of their starters were out, he put up 32 points. But he was a top 5 pick at one point. So there's still talent, and he was balling pretty well with the Hawks this year. So I can understand why the Cavaliers went out and got him. He's a good defensive player as well. So. He was definitely a good addition.
It's a long wing that you need to go against the Celtics.
Exactly, and that definitely helps as well. And he'll soak up those minutes and eat it, because as we know, as good as the Celtics starting 5 is, they don't have the bench to really to back it the way that should be. So it's, honestly, other than Pritchard and what else, I don't really see what else they really have to really offer and contribute coming from their bench.
That's true.
So that's things to consider. But like I said, their starting 5 is worth $1 billion, right? Everybody combined. So that's a hefty price, and I can understand why a lot of people would still think the Celtics are still at the top of the mountain. But, they can get cocky and, get knocked off too.
I think they could lose if Donovan Mitchell is the best player in that series, which he's very capable of doing.
Yeah.
If he's the best player in that series, the Cavs could win.
Yeah, for sure. So, I definitely think... I think it could go 7. I definitely think the Cavaliers have a puncher's chance. I don't think that's going to what happened last year. I think they learned a lot from it. And then, like I said, even adding Kenny Atkinson... he didn't win with the Warriors necessarily, but I guess picking up stuff from Steve Kerr inadvertently, he's definitely learned a lot. And then, even his experiences with what happened from, the Brooklyn Nets and everything, and getting canned out because of Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I think Kenny Atkinson can definitely be Coach of the Year, no doubt, and definitely has put the Cavaliers back where they, back to LeBron territory where they're at right now. So that city's buzzing. They're doing well, and we'll see. But I definitely agree with you, Joe. I think it's gonna come out the East, and I think it's gonna be either of these two teams. No matter what, any Lakers fans that don't want to show up on the show and tell me about it.
Let's not forget the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, dude, they're done, bro. They're done. Yeah. Honestly, they got finessed. I'll really be surprised if Nico Harrison still has a job at the end of this year, but we'll see.
I don't think he can. I feel like everything happened, every domino fell for him to get fired.
I think so, too, and we'll definitely have to see. Jason Kidd definitely, takes a big hit on his resume for this. He kind of chased out.
I think he's still a good coach, though.
Still a good coach, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But, was it more Luka or was it more him coaching, honestly? Because, I don't know. What really drove them to get to the finals? And also, I feel bad for Kyrie Irving because, honestly, at the end of the day, when you get AD and these other pieces and they're not available on the court, you're making Kyrie Irving at his age do too much, and now look at him. He's done. And who knows? He might not ever be the same type of player again. Given his skill set of, one-on-one ball and dribbling so much, I don't know if his knees can be able to hold up. So it's going to be interesting to see. Kyrie's come back from other injuries, and he's still being, able to show that he still is that guy. So we'll still see. But the Mavericks are in shambles. They are. So it's crazy how to see where they were and now where they are now. Just like that.
And they're like out of the playoff run already too. Like,
They're the 10th seed and they're fighting to hang on. They still got the Suns and even the Portland Trailblazers are coming up very hot. So
I like them for next year.
they are
like
good.
Sharp.
I like Sharp. I like Simons. I mean, their team. I mean, DeAndre on Aiden's there, I guess. But like they have pieces and it could really show in the future. That team could be good in the future, especially if they might have to give Chauncey Billups another chance next year and see how he can develop this roster and go forward. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
The Rockets and Pistons next year.
Those two teams are like right there. They're waiting to take that next level up, and it's really crazy to see. Those are the Thompson twins. I mean, they're both balling on both of those teams, and they're
crazy.
They're really special players, honestly, both of them, and it's really crazy to see from where they've grown to where they are now. They're definitely big contributors to the team.
But they still have so much more to grow, which is crazy.
Yeah, their ceilings almost could turn into being franchise players for both of these teams. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But now, I want to switch things up because there was a controversial ending to last week's fight of the Tank Davis and Roach fight. All right, and that's why we got Carlitos here too. While he's chilling in the cut, I want Carlitos to kind of run what he has to say. What do you think about what happened last week, Carlitos?
I ain't seen the fight. I only seen the highlights. The only fight that I seen was the fight before that. It was the El Rayo versus some dude. I forget, but anyways, yeah, that Tank Davis versus Roach fight. From what I seen and from the highlights, it looked like it was a close fight to me. I mean, of course, they're gonna give the champion the decision, but they should have given the point away from Tank, I guess, for that knee that he took.
I think that's what most people think that should have happened.
Because I think it was anyone else, you know what I mean? Like, no one like high profile like Tank would just probably either get DQ'd or just, get the 8 count or some type of point. Some type of something. Right. But just because it's Tank and shit and he's like the cash cow, that's why everybody's at the Barclays Center to see Tank Davis knock out this dude named Roach from what is it? DC. Yeah. But yeah, it looked like he just met his match, you know what I mean? That's what it looked like, even though they say, they been fought each other from the amateurs. What I don't like is people thinking that it was rigged in the comment section, because it's like a whole bunch of people saying this fight was rigged, like Tank was helping his boy get the bag, and that's the reason why it's a draw, and so they can run it back again, and he was just saying a whole bunch of stupid shit, just like, Anyways,
people always talk, Carlitos.
Yeah, shit like that, just like stupid. I think it's just, they just say things like that just so they could suppress the L. Or not even the L, that Tank, he just got a 1 on his record. I guess, people don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they wanted the spotless.
Yeah, they want record. That, because he's cool. He got the Chrome Hearts trunks. He got. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. Hey, what you guys say? You seen the whole fight, right?
Go ahead, Valo.
I'm gonna start hating.
Go ahead, Valo.
I bet on Tank. I'm a Tank fan. I thought he lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like the beginning rounds, until round 7, they were filling each other out. You could split those first 6 rounds. Round 7, when they started fighting each other, I think Roach won every round from 7 to 12. It seemed like Tank kept going for the counterpunch to land a big counterpunch and knock him out. But while all that was going on, while he was trying to score the counterpunch and knock him out, Roach was scoring. And he was controlling the action. He was the one being aggressive. Tank was getting him, but it was always a counter shot. He was always countering. He was always a step late. He was hitting him too. But I would give those rounds to the guy that was dictating the pace, dictating what he wanted to do. I felt like Roach really got comfortable in 7, and then by 9, he had confidence that he could beat Tank. I completely feel that I believe him when he says that he won the fight. I've seen Tank at the fights, and he didn't seem like he won that fight. He was clapping dude up and telling him, good fight, you did good. So he obviously knew it was a close fight.
Right.
And I don't think he won any of the championship rounds. So, and that knee, what annoys me about that knee is people are saying, oh, it wasn't a big shot, so he took a knee. It wasn't because of the shot. It doesn't matter in boxing if it was because of the shot or not. When are you allowed to take a knee in boxing? How many times have we seen a fighter get cut by an illegal headbutt, and they never get a chance to take a knee and say, hold on, let me wipe my eye because there's blood in my eye. But Tank can go wipe his eye because he got his hair done.
That was
crazy because the way he just took the knee and then got up, he goes to the corner. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He goes into the corner and shit, and then just like, I don't know, that was like a 5-second, 8-second post fiasco thing. It's like, but shit.
The corner didn't even know what he was talking about. They were like, what?
Yeah, it threw everybody off guard there, and it was very unprofessional, even by the ref and shit, allowing him to do that. It was very, very sloppy. The whole fight on his end.
You can take breaks in boxing. You can't.
You can't. It's like everybody and their mother was tweeting out, like, what the fuck, honestly. Like anybody like says that's a knockout or a knockdown, it's considered that, and that's why it's so fucking controversial about this shit. It's just like
just so it could be objective here.
Yeah.
Tank has a lot of haters, and and I feel as though a lot of the people that are saying are hating. Well, a lot of people are going off that 9th round when Tank was getting all tagged up and that knockdown. That's everybody. I think that's what these haters are going by. Like myself and. I
want to see that.
I'm not saying you. I didn't say you were here. I'm just saying me.
Even if it's your favorite
being objective here.
Even if it's your favorite fighter fighting, you never want to see a guy that you think won get robbed.
Yeah, it's like a fraud. It's a fraudulent. It's fraudulent. It's just fraudulent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I mean, what happened, and honestly, that's just the way we gotta take it. Maybe they'll have a rematch, but at this point, I don't think.
Do we want to see a rematch? I feel like Tank don't give rematches to tough competition.
Probably not.
Did he get a rematch with that Pitbull dude?
No. Yeah, I don't think he's ever had. Fight, right? I don't think he's had a rematch in his whole career.
No. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
I don't think he'll give that guy a rematch.
Which is bullshit because he should. I mean, honestly, if he wants to really prove to the world that he is like that guy, he should give the guy a rematch, and he should also just not shut. He should shut up about this notion about trying to say, "Oh, I can pick this fight. I have 2 more fights left in me or whatever." I don't want to hear that shit anymore. You don't have the fucking leverage anymore, Tank. You're not that guy. You never like. Honestly, if we were really to break down his fights, he never really was that guy. He gets lucky, he knocks the guys out, he feels his opponent out, and it's like me playing Fight Night Round 3. I have to counter punch and beat the guy, all right? And I don't like why, that's not real boxing. Anywhere in a technical fight, he's going to lose. He's going to lose the jabbing and landing of punches and everything involved, and he's just not that guy, bro. He's not. He tries to be a knockout artist in this day and age, and it's not a thing that's a thing anymore. It's not.
Yeah. Well, from what I've seen from that fight, I don't think he's gonna beat Shakur Stevenson like that,
bro. I don't even know if he could beat Devin Haney.
Or I don't know about that, but or maybe you know what, you might be right because
I'm serious.
Devin Haney, if he's not there trying to,
he runs around.
Blow,
that's what I'm saying. He's not trying to go blow. He's just trying to tap him.
So but I feel as though and then that Keyshawn.
Oh, did you guys not watch Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney?
Yeah, we did, but that's
because this dude was trying to fight.
That's what I'm saying. That's a different scenario. But this scenario here, I feel like I think Haney would actually just use the ring and jab him to death, honestly, because that's the type of fighter he is. He's not gonna knock the guy out unless he finds a lesser competition. But at this type of stage, I think you're right, Carlitos. I think Shakur Stevenson would have a ballpark against Tank.
I don't think.
Especially since he's a defensive fighter.
I don't think Tank's gonna be good with slick black fighters. You know what I mean?
No,
so,
I know what you mean.
He's gonna be good with them. He good with the Mexicans and shit. And
he likes to bully the fighters he can bully.
Like semi good boxers like Frank Martin. He was semi good, but there's some slick one that do this shit. Do the Philly shell, and the counters and shit. And them other guys, they got a little bit of that, but there's levels to it, and Shakur Stevenson is on that level, and
I think
he's gonna be a problem.
I think so totally and wholeheartedly. But who knows? I don't know if that fight will ever happen just because of where they are and shit and who they are. So, but guys, I gotta wrap it up. All right.
Dana White is taking over.
He says that. He says that. I don't know.
It just happened today.
I know. I saw. He's teamed up with TKO. We'll see. Yeah, he's talking about that on. He's talking a big talk like he always does. But we'll see. All right. But I gotta wrap things up, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on from my boy Joe Valo and Carlitos.
See ya. It's your boy Carlos Ray World TV. I'm out. Peace.
All right, guys. Until next time. Peace out. And look who we have back in the house. The one, the only, John Carlo Esco. How you doing, my friend?
Feeling good. Been a couple weeks. Feeling good. Feeling good. Refreshed. Ready to go.
Good. I'm glad to have you back on. Your presence is definitely felt on this show. But I need your expertise here as we have another big combat sport pay-per-view coming up, as you see at the bottom of the screen. We have UFC 313 in the house coming up this weekend. So, what are we here to expect, Jay? What are we here to expect? What do you got? What is the rundown for this pay-per-view? I want to start, go ahead. I'm going to let you take the board here.
Real quick. I know we briefly touched up on it a couple minutes ago. Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
Main event to prelims? What are we doing?
Crazy, right? From that fight with Aspinall to where he is now to lead the prelim card, that's pretty crazy.
He was in the running for Jones.
I know, right? And now to see where he is now to, not even on the pay-per-view event, that's pretty crazy.
But it makes a hell of a main event for a prelim, so I guess why not?
Yeah, I know. Dana pulling weird strings on that one, but, that's the kind of guy Dana is.
He might not be a Dana guy. I'm just starting to think he might not be.
I feel like there's a lot of guys that are starting to fall on the other side of not the Dana guys.
Right.
But we'll see how things turn out. But all right, go ahead, dive in, Jay.
I'm interested to see what Jalen Turner does coming up in the 145 division, especially with Ilya Taporia vacating that belt.
Yeah, that's big, bro.
But to the co-main event, the last-minute replacement, Rafael Fiziev. I was very much looking forward to Gaethje Hooker because I know that fight was going to be what we called back in the day a slobber knocker.
Yes.
They were going to stand and bang. They were going to beat the piss out of each other.
Right.
I was very much looking forward. When Hooker came up last week and said, I hurt my hand, my soul was hurt.
Yeah.
I needed that fight. From what I've read, I heard Holloway got the call.
Yeah.
That fight it makes zero sense to me. No.
Right.
He just pieced them up for 5 rounds and knocked them out. Poirier got the call.
Right.
Interesting because they're 1-1.
Right, I know. That's like it's like as fans we're like waiting for the trilogy, but I guess just not. We're gonna have to keep waiting for that one.
Poirier is going out. He has one fight left. He wants to do it in New Orleans. They're planning it for the summer.
Right.
And if Gaethje comes out victorious, that fight can still be on the table.
Right. Which could be great. Which would be fucking banging, bro. Honestly, especially if that's his last fight.
Settle the trilogy, and go out and leave your gloves in the middle of the octagon.
Yeah. What better way?
But here we are, Rafael Fiziev. Good guy, good fight. I rewatched the first fight.
Right.
It was a good scrap. I mean, Gaethje clearly won, in my opinion.
Right.
It was a good scrap. I don't know. Their careers have kind of went in two different directions. Fiziev hasn't won. He hasn't fought since 2023. He messed his knee up in a fight.
Right.
But to a point you brought up earlier, what is he doing being a slight favorite here?
I know. I was looking at the odds because I was running through the card and whatever, and just to see him at -162 and having freaking Gaethje at +138, I think I saw. Like, it's really crazy to think, honestly. I'm like, this can't be right, but that's what they have set up. So I don't know.
If you look at the tail of the tape, the only advantage I see is age, and it's 4 years.
Right.
Gaethje's 36, Fiziev 32.
Right.
Other than that, Gaethje's been more active, even though he lost.
Right.
And Fiziev, he took no tune-up fights coming from his knee injury.
Right.
His last fight ended with a stoppage because of the knee, and we haven't seen him since.
Right.
What are we getting? Because if Gaethje won the first one, what does Fiziev have any business being a favorite heading into the second one with inactivity?
I know. It's really crazy to think.
Makes no sense.
It smells funny.
Smells real funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Smells like money on Gaethje. That's what it smells like to me.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, most of the money would even go on Gaethje anyway, so I don't understand like why odds makers would even have it set up like this. But that's what I'm saying. It smells funny. I just don't know.
Short notice fight, familiar opponent, and somebody you beat, and you're a dog. Somebody's got some explaining to do to me because I don't get it.
Exactly. Like I don't see it. I really don't. And I still don't like. I'm trying to play a scenario in my head where I can see Racy winning, but I don't see it winning. Especially like you said, like the first time Gaethje pretty much handled him, and then the time gap and everything, it just doesn't make sense. I don't see it, but I guess we'll have to watch and see.
Everybody has a puncher's chance.
Yeah, you're right, especially in that sport.
So, and one of Gaethje's last questions is, how is your chin holding up after Max Holloway knocked you into tomorrow?
I know.
How are you doing? You've been out of the octagon for 11 months. But I don't think that should be taken into consideration with Fiziev.
Right.
If it's Holloway again and the odds were like this, we would have a problem.
Right, I agree.
If this was a Poirier thing, I would be okay with that. But the fact that we're looking at almost a year and a half of inactivity, I got questions, but hopefully Saturday they're answered.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys are definitely be a little bit rusty coming in, but I mean, I'm sure all those jitters will come out, and they'll start the bang.
Real quick.
Yes.
And then we go to the main event.
Yes.
UFC's most active
fighter
and one of the most exciting fighters.
The prize fighter.
Since he signed.
Yeah.
I believe this is his toughest matchup to date. Ankalaev is not a joke.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing a lot of research on Ankalaev, and he's the real deal, man. He's definitely garnished this #1 contender spot.
If this fight goes to the ground, he could be and new. For sure. Because nothing against Pereira. I hope he worked on takedown defense. Because I know he recently was helping Sean Strickland.
Right.
And who has no ground game.
Right, exactly.
And so hopefully his strike, he can keep this guy at bay.
Mm-hmm.
And, keep the distance with the leg kicks and the punches.
Right, that's what he does.
Ankalaev shoots, we have a problem.
Exactly. No, I mean, like you said, his ground and pound, I mean, like where he is on the ground compared to Pereira, I mean, it's definitely a big advantage, especially with his camp and everything. I mean, that's what they do, man. You know what I mean?
His last name ends with an OV or an EV.
Expect the ground and pound, man. Expect a long fight, a long, gruesome fight. But but that's only if Pereira can't capitalize what he can do.
Right. He has to do what Tank Davis didn't do and start fast.
I mean, we talked about that on my previous take, but I mean, you can't be You can't be out here trying to act like you're Goku, bro. You know what I mean? You can't send your opponent out for so long. You know what I mean? Especially when your opponent's kind of on the same level as you. You know what I mean? So.
He's a very real challenger here.
No, for sure. I almost feel like Pereira's gonna lose, honestly.
I think the only thing that keeps him alive here is our hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Win this fight, and you get the GOAT.
Exactly. This is huge. This is like, he's climbing the mountain, really, honestly. Especially with the the division and everything.
We're one step closer to getting the fight we want.
Right.
Pereira wins.
I'm sure John Jones will probably be in the house for this fight too.
He better be.
Yeah, I think just because of marketing and everything that's been going on before that and all the talk, I definitely think he's gonna be in the house to watch this fight firsthand.
Well, yeah, it's not like he's far away. He's in Albuquerque somewhere, so
yeah,
he has a far drive, But knowing John Jones, as the world knows him and Vegas don't really get along when he's not fighting.
Yeah.
So maybe
he'll play it safe. Maybe not.
Maybe don't go, but
yeah, exactly. Who knows if he goes, it could actually throw all that out the window. So let's hope. Let's see. But overall, the idea of them two fighting is really what UFC wants. It's a big, huge mega fight. You know what I mean?
God forbid Dana is putting Aspinall as a roadblock to this fight happening.
Yeah, there's that whole thing too. But as fans and everybody involved, we all want to see Pereira and Jones.
They're closer in size, closer in age.
Right.
And it's everybody's taking a chance at greatness. Tom Aspinall's young, upcoming. Yeah, he's the future.
Right.
I would give Aspinall step aside money to make this fight happen.
Yeah, for sure. Just give him the hush money, make him be all right. Just take it. It's for business. I think Dana White, as a businessman, knows what he has to do, no matter what he says before or in the past.
If Pereira can escape this fight unscathed, book Pereira Jones for International Fight Week. Winner fights Aspinall, New York, end of the year. Call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. You can parlay all that into that, and it really have everything look good at the end of the day with that division.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
I'm very excited for this pay-per-view this weekend, though. What does Gaethje have left? What is Fiziev going to have? Is Curtis Blades going to be there?
Yeah.
Curtis Blades are you getting? That's his level of consistency is none. There's zero.
I know. Especially after that last fight with Aspinall, man. I was just like, how do you go from that to this? Really?
Yeah, he got blitzed. It was embarrassing.
I know. He kind of tried to come in hot and he got cooked.
No, remember, you're a wrestler.
I know. Know your role, bro. Know your role. Know your place, especially when you step into the octagon.
Exactly. Overall, I'm excited to watch this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Gives me a break from something. Gives me something to watch other than college and pro basketball, which I'm struggling with. It's a struggle. Process what?
Yo, yeah, I know, dude. We're done. Daryl Morey. It's his fault. We're gonna have to bank on a freaking ping pong ball going around in a freaking.
He get Cooper Flagg, and God forbid.
Or Ace Bailey.
Do we need another guard?
Well, he's kind of like the 2-3 kind of guard. I wouldn't mind that, but we'll see. He plays at Rutgers. I don't know, but I kind of explained that in the other take, so I don't know.
We'll figure it out, though. We got time, but it's fight week.
It is fight week, and we'll be watching. We'll be watching. I'll be tuned in.
Not pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. We ain't gonna be worrying about this is the real combat though. We ain't gotta worry about someone taking a knee or a ref stepping in or some bullshit happening.
It's in my eyes. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. I don't want to hear any of that shit. We're just gonna see guys square up and knock each other the fuck out.
Coming from an illegal stream near you, UFC 313.
Yes. We won't ever reveal the link. Never reveal the link.
Never.
Well, all right, Jay. I appreciate you running on and dropping some knowledge on this pay-per-view coming up and everything involved.
Appreciate it. Can't wait to watch Saturday.
Absolutely. We'll run it back and we'll talk about it.
All right. Sounds great, brother.
All right. Peace.